Hello, and welcome to the Not Okay, It's Okay podcast. This is season 2, episode 4. And this is your safe space to come on in and chat with us about not being okay. And we're here to let you know that
it's okay to not be okay.
It's okay. So here we are today. Hey, Rashida.
Here we are today. So I think, for our viewers, let's check in. How am I doing? I'm doing so-so. Been really busy.
Cheers to that.
For those who can't see what we did a little cheers. Diet Coke versus coffee.
Yes.
Coffee. Yeah, I'm so-so. I've been, really feeling,
Is there more about that?
I'll tell you everything you want to know. And Kanisha, shout out. Hey, y'all. She's such a fan.
Hey,
such a
Kanisha.
Fan.
Good to see you.
And again, it's going to tie into today's topic, which is, just kind of talking about motherhood, right?
Yeah. This kind of really did come up I think for both of us at a really
perfect time. Yeah, perfect time.
So tell me more about so-so.
So-so of, just being able to juggle life, right? Juggle, hey, Cheryl. Being,
hey, Cheryl.
A mom, a working mom, a special needs mom, a mom of a 3-year-old, a mom of a 5. Oh my God, I can't remember the names of my kids.
See,
the ages.
Clearly, you're so-so if you don't know how old your kids are.
That's on a regular. But yeah, just there's times where I feel like I'm just like, I don't know how I do it. Like I'm just doing it.
You do it.
Yeah, and it's not all pretty.
It's not all pretty. Do you find yourself sometimes on total autopilot?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Would you like to tell me more about that?
I think I want you to tell me more first.
You're so silly.
Well, I told you today. I'm like, I showed up in a sweatshirt, which is very not like me. Yeah, I'm so-so as well. And I think I don't know that it's motherhood that's got me down, but it's definitely part of it because it's such a huge part of my life. But the juggling of being a full-time working mom and motherhood and this and that's kind of and the self-care part that for me is the first thing to go. And really, it needs to be there in order for it to go. So you know what I mean? Like to make that time and take that time for yourself so that we could show up as better humans.
So is that a sign for you that when you kind of stop, doing that self-care that, hey, warning.
Yeah, but I've been getting this warning sign for like 8 years. So I'm definitely, feeling like that my cup is, usually I feel like my cup runneth over and I have so much to give and I am definitely pouring from an empty cup lately. So, I told you before, and we'll get into it later, like I actually tried to make a massage and facial appointment and I got the door slammed on me. I know, poor me. You didn't get a facial or massage, but literally it's been years and I could really use it. But whatever. Anyway, so
yeah, so I think let's start talking about like some of the causes of stress for caretakers, right?
Yes.
Caretakers, are not only moms, but there's fathers out there, and then there's grandparents who are, parenting their grandchildren and so forth. So, I have a few. Relationship demands. I think about like. On so many different levels. And
like relationships of all the caretakers, or what do you mean relationships?
Yeah, like just the multiple roles we have in relationships, right?
Yeah.
Like our significant other, having that time for them, our relationship with each one of our, if you have multiple kids like I do, right? There's a different relationship with each one.
Yeah.
And just being a child, of parents. And
how do you, that's interesting. I'm the mother of a singlet. And so.
Singlet.
Yes. I don't like the term only child. I feel like everybody's like, is your only child? Like,
got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, he's my singlet and he effing rocks. But tell me a little bit about how you manage different relationships with your children, like the dynamic, Yeah.
It's not
or how
easy.
you're trying to manage.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy because they all have they all have strong personalities, and they're different, and they have different needs, right? Different needs, and I have to like be in tune with that. You know, for example, you know, my 3-year-old daughter, she is like independent. I got this, an example, you know, no waiting. Mommy, I want a snack. Okay, give me a second. I'm washing the dishes. Before you know it, she's got a chair and she's getting her own snack.
That's amazing. Little independent woman.
Right. And I want to cultivate that, right? Yeah. But then it's just like, you're about to break your neck on that chair, you know, or you can't wait, right? Like, what am I?
So do I teach her patience here or do I praise her for being like, okay, great job?
And I think that happens for a lot of caretakers.
What did you do?
I just kept washing those dishes.
Good for you.
You know, she wasn't going to help me wash those dishes.
No, that's next. Let her climb up on the chair to wash some dishes.
Right. And then, you know, I could go through all my kids, but then, you know, my one son who's 7, and please forgive me, everybody. Their birthdays are around the same time. They, you know,
she's like my one son. I don't know how old he is. I don't know. And then
they're all like back to back in like seasons or whatever you call it.
What's his name again?
You know that one over there. The one with that
Christian's laughing. Okay, so the 7-year-old, whatever his name is.
Yeah, that one. So the 7-year-old is you know, he's very in touch with his emotions, because you know, like I don't want to, you know, it's, you know, sometimes we say he's emotional, and then you know, they get all like, why are you emotional? He's really in touch with his emotions, and so,
which is beautiful.
He wants to be heard. You know, he wants to be validated and affirmed and everything like that. And so if he doesn't feel like he's heard, he's running under a table somewhere, crying, rocking, you know, I'm ready to leave this house.
Oh, he's packing a bag already.
He already packed his bag. Like, that was like when he was 5, he ran a bag. And then I was like, I went through the bag and I'm like, what happened to underwear or socks or a coat? Because instead of winter, teddy bears.
Oh.
Teddy bears.
Oh, how cute is that, right? Like emotional support.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not getting it here. Teddy, you come with me. Grimace, monkey, come with me. Yeah, right?
Yeah. He was just like, you know, like, no, toothbrush, you don't want to like brush your teeth, or you don't want like a snack on the way.
3 feet of snow outside. Aw.
And no shoes on, right? Like,
of course.
Where are you going? So that's you know, for me, that's, you know, a stressor, just being able to manage those relationships.
I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine having more than one child.
Yeah.
I think God really did just give me what I could handle.
You know, I'm telling you, I look back and I was like, you know, one seems a little easier. But when you add others to the equation.
Sure, it's more to attend to, more, you know, and everybody's so different. It's not like you have 3 kids and they're all exactly alike. Everybody's got their own personality, wants, needs, all that stuff.
And their developmental milestones.
I'm getting more and more grateful by the moment here. Oh, I'm relaxing. Okay. All right. So clearly you and I are very open about our our kind of struggles, because it's not easy. It's definitely not easy to juggle and show up in the way that we want to show up.
Right.
And, you know, I could say that yesterday I had a day, which we were talking about before, and then my son kind of did his thing or a thing, and I really showed up very poorly as a mom. And I just, you know, I got like, it was a power struggle, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. And I left my husband and my son home, and I told you I went to the mall and cried and cried. And in my car, I wasn't crying like outside of the Gap or whatever. Does the Gap, is it even there? Yeah, it's there. I think so. Anyway, you know, but I wasn't proud of the way I showed up. And I was so, you know, it's like all the stuff we talk about here. And like, I'm a therapist. Like, I should know how to balance my emotional and rational minds. Like, I say it 7,000 times a day. I do the best I can to practice, and I just failed miserably in that respect yesterday.
Why was it a failure?
Because I work hard on it. I really do. I work hard on it, and it's a perceived failure. Thank you. Which I guess brings us into our good enough mother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good enough mother comes from Winnicott, who was, I believe, a British pediatrician who spoke to moms who were like struggling for perfection or to show up and just be this perfect mom and show up every single time in this perfect way. And he, I guess, did some research on the good enough mother being better developmentally and relationally for that child, meaning that children actually benefit when you show up in a good enough form rather than perfect.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And it's funny because we were talking about that, and that's something that has come up every single week with my therapist, you know, because it's something I struggle with too, you know, and I'm sure you do too, because clearly we're talking about it today. So let's talk about good enough mothers.
I mean, you know, there's this like social construct of like what that perfect mom is supposed to be, right?
And
like attentive to their child's, you know, every need, or, you know, you know, not making, you know, a misstep in any way, and or know,
being late, or forgetting to pack a snack, or forgetting to give your kid a water, or, you know, not, you know, waking up late and, you know, saying, I don't have time to make the frozen waffle, have this, or...
Well, Chinese food is wonderful in my
house. Absolutely. So is cold pizza.
In the morning sometimes. Sometimes that's all they'll eat.
Listen.
That's all they'll eat.
They got to eat, right?
You know?
Yeah. But, and also, let's just say, too, that good enough mother can really be interchangeable. It could be good enough anything. Good enough friend, good enough daughter, good enough father. Like, it could be interchangeable because the concept is the same.
Yeah, and it takes that pressure off.
Yeah.
Right, of having to be, you know, and who are we comparing ourselves to, right? Because, you know, comparison is not really great, right?
Comparison is the death of all happiness.
Yes.
Because it automatically makes what we have not good enough.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so, you know, when we are struggling to show up in this perfect way as a parent, usually we lose the present moment because we're not in that present mind.
Yeah.
We're literally in the past or in the future. So it actually pays to show up as good enough because then you're present.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No,
you know what I mean?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You know.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey.
Oh, thank you. You're good enough too.
In there. April's in there. So, you know, I you know, started thinking about, you know, how many times I've said to myself that I'm a bad mom, right? And I don't know how many other people out there can relate and have said that about themselves.
Sure.
You know.
I can.
And I negate all the good mom moments, right? By that one.
Which so far outweigh.
Right.
Anytime you may have showed up a little short.
Right.
Let's say.
And then what happens? I then start like just really thinking about it. And then I look for everything in the universe that just confirms that I'm a bad mom, right? Oh, I was late here and they've eaten pizza at least 4 times this week. And that's, you know, and then I'm just creating this like 100%. Vicious story that makes me sad and makes me anxious and depressed at times.
And then makes you feel not good enough, period. Not only a not good enough mother, but not good enough.
Yeah.
Like not good enough, not good enough.
Yeah. It's almost like I suck.
Yeah.
I suck.
I hear you. And I think that I can totally relate to that, you know, because don't forget, we have everybody has different ways of thinking, right? We have people who think very black and white. We have people who catastrophize. We have minimizers. We have so many others, right? I mean, I can't even think of them right now. But so, yeah, it turns out we catastrophize, right? It's one little small misstep that we've taken, and then we're in that anxious brain stage, as my partner Robin would say. Your amygdala is engaged, and now it's this anxious energy, which then catastrophizes. Not only did I screw this up, but this, that, this, and the other thing, and then we feel like absolute crap.
Yeah, I always like say they're like I have like terrorists in my brain, you know, that hijack, you know, and you know, terrorists don't want to do like great things. They want to take. And take and demolish and destroy. And when I go to that place, you know, it's just that I'm just going down that slope of like not good. You know, and it's hard. I mean, of course, you know, if we're going to get vulnerable, you know, I've had a lot of moments where I didn't show up. You know, I have a lot of things that if I could, and I'm getting teary, if I could go back and change, I would. And then
Me too.
kind of like put in perspective everything that's on my plate.
Platter.
You know, the platter, right? Like, you know, the special needs part, you know, brings an extra layer of stress.
Absolutely.
And the unknown of, you know, am I doing the right thing? Am I choosing the right therapist? Am I, you know, ABA therapy, we want to do 40 hours, but if I say no, am I a bad parent?
Right.
Because I'm thinking about my son being in school all day and then having to do like another 10 or 15 hours of therapy. Like, is that going to affect his future? So, you know, these things like just kind of start weighing, like, am I making the right decision? And I think even for parents of neurotypical or you know, of neurotypical kids, I feel like that's similar. Like, of like, will this, you know, have an impact on my child in the future?
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, and thank you so much for sharing that. And I wish it wasn't COVID because I'd be all over you right now.
You'd be slobbering.
Hugging all over you.
I want to give you a hug.
I know.
So
I'm like,
badly. But like, I just want to say though, I'm sorry, I don't mean to chime in, but like it was just so poignant. But showing, like, even if sometimes there are moments of doubt where it's like you question whether or not you're doing enough or caring, with what you just displayed alone shows that's no comparison is how much you care. You care that much that like
you're even still
thinking about it in the context that it's still making you watery-eyed. So please don't question it. You're both awesome. Never question it, never doubt it.
Christian.
And I just thank you, Christian, for
that.
that.
Message from Professor Kick.
And it's you know, being a mom, being a caretaker, it's real. You know, we're in charge of little human beings' lives.
Yeah, it
is.
And it's always, you know, it's that questioning, you know, that incessant questioning and like reviewing, even after you've made a decision, we've already showed up like that. It's that, you know, like you said, terrorists, like it's true. They do, our thoughts get hijacked by our emotions, right?
Yep.
That's exactly I'm thinking of it in terms of brain work here. That's exactly what happens. And then, we all know thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all attached. And once one gets challenged, it's really, really hard. I mean, in my language, I call them Mother of the Year awards moments, you know, and I've had many. And it's, if you let yourself kind of go there, it's really, it's harmful. It's harmful to our confidence as people. But so how can we all learn from this? Like what you've just shared, you know, this feeling of just, it's this constant, it's a push-pull, you know, it's being pulled in so many directions. Like you have, you know, therapists, ABA therapists saying, well, you know, he really should get this, right? This would be the best. But then you're thinking about beyond any special needs. You're thinking of the little human and like, what is he gonna, you know, how is he gonna be after school all day? Like, doesn't he need some downtime? And then you and your husband are forced to make these really, really difficult decisions.
Yeah. And then, you know, then there's the appearance of like, well, how are they going to see us? That we don't want to do what's best for.
Right. Like, what are they going to perceive?
Yeah. I just think, you know, it is, you know, just on just so many levels, you know, we as moms and caretakers, you know, I think have to realize that we do our best from moment to moment.
Doing the best we can with what we know.
You know, each child has their own handbook that'll be created.
Never. When they write it. When they pen that shit.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Like, sure. I mean, it's just, and again, you know, I just wanted to bring up this statistic that I heard about.
Because you're the queen of statistics.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the statistic was that, you know, with COVID now, and that brought an extra stressor for a lot of us.
Goodness, sure.
That 2 million women have left the workforce since COVID.
Wow.
You know, 2 million.
Wow. Is that in the U.S. or in the world?
In the U.S.
Wow.
2 million. And they I guess they did a study. It was like between like 35 and 44 years of age. And I thought about that. And I thought about, you know, the demands that were, you know, you had to like kind of almost sense choose.
Of course.
Right? Like you have the kids, the virtual learning.
They're no longer in school. School's done.
Yeah.
So what,
Yeah. And then if you're, you know, again, a parent that's working outside the home, you know, and you know, your job has certain expectations. And then if you're doing like, you know, you were at home, how do you work at home with a child?
Absolutely. And you know, money, benefits, like how do you
so I just feel for those who 2 million who, you know, had to make a choice, you know,
very difficult choice,
and forced into that choice in a sense. It just wasn't this, you know, the systems weren't there to be able to unfortunately in some places accommodate being that.
I'm blown away by that.
Yeah.
2
That's
million.
why I was like, it just stuck with me. 2 million. And you know, they said it probably wouldn't be until 2024 that we may see, you know, like just kind of things, you know, women getting back, you know, fully getting back into the workforce.
Right.
2024. 2024.
It's unbelievable.
Let that
the impact.
sit in your coffee.
Let that marinate. Or as well, I won't say what my Nana said. Never mind.
I like Nana.
No, not appropriate. Moving right along.
I think there's some I don't know if there's like comments in there. Is there anything we got going? We want to make this interactive, everybody.
Yes, for sure. And thank you. Yeah. The burden is overwhelming. It sure is. It absolutely is. And I think that we together as women, as parents, and again, we're singling out women because, you know, Mother's Day is Sunday, and, you know, and we're both moms. Yeah. So it is overwhelming, and it does feel like a burden a lot of the times because it's especially if we're full-time working moms, because don't forget, if you're a full-time working mom, that means you have 2 full-time jobs. You know, it means that that we have a lot to juggle, and it's okay. You know, I think, and that's it too. Like, I think that certainly on social media, you know, it goes both ways where we have a lot of women on there, you know, just looking perfect and like holding a toddler and breastfeeding a baby and like, isn't life perfect, you know, and their airbrushed makeup, whatever. But I think more so we have a culture of women that are actually being vulnerable and saying, hey, I'm a mess today, or I'm really struggling. Which I think is really great because at the end of the day, it's the truth that helps.
And how freeing is that?
Oh my gosh, like,
of course. You know, because again, we create this like, you know, like that everybody's like, you know, they got it together, you know, and they're always on time to pick up their child, mind you. Like I'm on, you know, running. Oh, thank you for bringing my child back into the office.
Yeah, thanks for keeping them safe. I was really,
right?
Of course.
I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah,
you know, and
it is. And I think the more that we can kind of tell each other the truth. I think, you know what this reminds me of? Jenny McCarthy. When I was pregnant with my son, she had written a little before it. She started writing books on motherhood, and it's something like Belly Laughs, where that's what it was called. And she was like just really telling the truth about being pregnant, and it wasn't like cute. It wasn't cute. It was scary, but she was telling the truth, and I admired her for that, and I was so thankful for a book like that because she really like talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, of pregnancy.
Pull that curtain back.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what we're doing. That's what we're, you know, what the point of the show is today is to just normalize the fact that we all struggle as moms, as women, and
as therapists, right? Like why should we have all the answers? Like, you know, like you know, we have, you know, some skills.
Yeah,
you know,
we have skills to help you navigate. Right? We partner up and help you navigate, but we don't have the answers. And even if we did, it's not our job to give the answers. It's to help navigate, you know, and figure it out together. So but being a therapist is an added what's the word? A pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, you're a therapist. Yeah, well, I mess up like constantly, you know, and that's okay. I'm okay with that because I'm still a human being.
Right. And I feel like when I start trying to use those skills with my kids and stuff, they have like a freaking like shield up. Like, I'm going to block that, and I'm blocking her, you know, with that, and she's trying to come with that psycho. I'm blocking, and it's like, oh, that didn't work. So let me just get down to your level and say, go sit down somewhere.
Yeah,
right. Like,
Rachel. Oh, that's a good question. Did they say how many men left their jobs?
No, but
Rachel, Google it.
Yes,
Google it and let us know. Oh, here's Allison. First off, if you choose to be a mom, then buckle up and shut up. Keeping it real.
Oh.
Thanks, Al. We always wait for your wise words.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so that's kind of what we wanted to get across as far as the good enough, sharing that we too have our Mother of the Year awards being distributed.
And it's, you know, and again, you know, I think about like the self-care kind of piece to it, right? You know, that, you know, they say, you know, we should be taking care of our needs, but it's hard. Like you proved, like you were, you know, trying to set up this appointment, and
I was so excited. Like I never get cancellations. I rarely get cancellations.
Well, talk about it, because I don't think you.
So, okay, here we go. Back in October, I went to go get a facial. One of my clients has gorgeous skin, and I'm like, damn, girl, who does your skin? And she told me the name of this person. So I went. I booked an appointment, and it's one of those places where you can join like a monthly. So I never do that because I just know I'm never going to do it. But for some reason, they got me hook, line, and sinker. And this was like back in October. And so I joined, and I paid like $70 a month. And probably like 2 months ago, I was like, wow, I never went back, you know? And I don't know if it was COVID or time restrictions or whatever, but I decided to cancel the membership. And they said, okay, you have, you know, 5 or 6, whatever, things that you need to use. Okay. So today I wound up getting, I confirmed my appointments with my clients the day before. I got 1 cancellation, which is fantastic. I mean, once in a while it's okay. I don't want to be canceled on all the time, but I was like, yes, I'm going to be free by 11 a.m. tomorrow. I'm like, I am totally calling up this place. I'm booking me a massage and a facial. I was so psyched because also my kid went back to school full time. So I gained a few hours there. So I called on my way, and it was just like one roadblock after another. They didn't have my name in the computer. They don't know how many sessions they owe me, yada, yada. And then I'm like, that's okay. Let me just book it anyway. And they're like, no, we have nothing. And I was like, you know, F you, really? You know, like the one time I can actually do it. But whatever. Well, and I said in the beginning, poor me, you know, whatever. It's not poor me, but I was looking to do that for self-care.
Finally, right?
Yeah.
Like,
finally. And I was like so defeated.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
You know, and I think, you know, the point, you know, is that if you don't put it in your schedule, you know, like it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Right. Just like we have for those who have to take their kids to school, you know, there's no like, you know, like, oh, yeah, I'm probably going to take my kid to school today or tomorrow.
It just occurs.
You know, it's something that, you know, that has to be done. Right.
Yep.
You know, or going to work. Like, it's just something that has to be done. You know,
we do it. We make time in our day.
Right.
And making your kid lunch. You're not going to send them without unless they're eating at school.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, a part of like how we show up with our kids, you know, for me, you know, if I haven't had enough sleep, if I'm like just, you know, running here, running there, spreading myself thin. Oh yeah, I'll do this, and yeah, no problem. You know, and
yes,
and not setting these like boundaries. What happens is I'm really short with my child. You know, I'm more reactive. So for them, my daughter's saying, "Hey, can we play slime?" Which slime? I don't know who developed that and who thought it was a great idea. But my whole furniture is just
terrible.
You can't get that out.
No, but you're absolutely right. We show up, and exactly, we don't show up in our best form. We're emotionally reactive. We're reacting and not responding. All the things, and then I think it feels twice as bad for us, Rashida, because we're therapists.
Yeah.
It feels twice as bad because we know better and we shouldn't do that. Yeah. So it really sucks.
And, you know, I'm just kind of like, you know, I know you said you had went to the mall and stuff like that. And, you know, there's times where I've had to like just remove myself because I knew if I said one more word, right? So I had to like make a decision, right? You know, if I stayed in this, you know, they didn't want me to leave, you know, but if I stayed, it probably the outcome would have been much worse than me just kind of saying, okay, get it together, whatever I needed to tell myself.
Right. It's like it was a safety move, you know, because you don't want to totally unleash the beast.
Yes.
And there are really scary moments, you know, and I feel like that's where I was yesterday, and I think I yelled in the beginning, and then I was just like breathing, and I just knew like it was a shitty day before this occurred, and I didn't have a fighting chance to put my best foot forward, to show up the way I know I should. You know, I just couldn't do it.
And you know, just like, you know, parenthood, it is a job, right? You know, just like a job, right? Not every day at work we're going to show up. You know, there's times, you know, where unfortunately, like, you know, I'm in a session with a client, and I'm like, ooh, I'm like kind of really like tired, and you know, I'm trying to focus on what they're saying, but or my stuff is coming up, and I'm, you know, so I'm not going to show up all the time.
That never happens to me. I'm just kidding.
She's always on.
On always. No, but I hear you. It really does. And just getting back to choosing to go, right? Like I feel yesterday, in retrospect, that was an act of self-care. For me. You know, I needed a good cry. I needed to get out of Dodge.
Right.
And I knew that it was only going to escalate and then probably turn into not only a power struggle with my son, but then a power struggle with my husband or a fight or whatever. And I literally I couldn't do it.
So look at how you turned that into a positive, as opposed to like where, you know, anyone could go to the place of like, I'm a bad mom because, you know, I left my child and I went to the mall. Like, you know, how would that have served you?
It wouldn't. It just, you know, it adds to the good fight that I fight every day, to know that I'm good enough. Not only a good enough mother, but a good enough human, a good enough friend, a good enough daughter, a good enough person. And I just, that's a really great insight. Like it, you know, the struggle is real. The struggle is real, you know.
And I think about like football, right? Like you're not going to always
think
like
about football. We're not going to always
We're not going to always make touchdowns, right? We're going to fumble the ball, we're going to miss that, and someone's going to be big misses where it's like, "Oh my god, you cost us the game."
Yeah, wait, hold on. Ray Finkel. Ray Finkel, right? Anybody know Ray Finkel? Come on, tell me. Nobody knows Ray Finkel. Christian, you know who Ray Finkel is. No? Ace Ventura, people, get with it. My God. Allison, what do you have to say now? Ace Ventura, the first one where Ray Finkel.
Oh, you don't know Ace Ventura?
I'm sorry. Christian just said who's. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. My eyes like bulged.
I was like, what? Allison, thank you, Katie. Ace Ventura, you got it. Allison, sometimes I suck as a mom, but I learn to and do better. Yeah. It's okay to not always be great. Yeah. Well, Al, it seems like you are a couple of steps ahead of me and Rashida, because it's like really taking us some time and space.
But you know what? Like, I mean, if we look at the percentage of times where we've like fumbled that ball, right? Like, I'm sure we've touched down more times than fumbling.
100%.
Right. And so, you know, give us credit for just entering the stadium.
It's give yourself credit for entering the stadium. That's what it comes down to. Because at the end of the day, we're all worried about this judgment. No one's effing judging you, really. And if they are, that's a them problem, not a you problem. So really, it's give yourself credit. And I'm talking to myself. Hillary, are you listening? Like, give yourself credit for entering the stadium. I love that. There's a really famous quote, gonna botch it. Not even going to say it. Brene Brown said it, actually. I think it was Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, that something about, I don't know, I'm going to look it up when you talk. I'll get back to everybody with that. But it's something about entering, you know, at least you had, you know, he didn't say at least you had the balls to enter. I doubt, but I'll find it and read it.
You know, I was thinking, you know, my one son, again, you know, he has a diagnosis, well, both have autism, but there was a moment, you know, and I get really honest on the show because I feel like, you know, through honesty, it may be freeing for someone else.
Absolutely.
Through what I share. And my son got into this, he's into this like spitting phase, and he spit in my face.
I remember.
And you know, you never know, you know, in a situation where you're not expecting it, what your reaction is going to be.
Sure.
And I yelled, and I'm like, you don't do that, and what's wrong with you, and things like that. And I beat myself up later, you know, because it was just, for me, it felt like it was instinctual. Like, whoa, you spit in my face.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I had to like pull back, right? And, you know, again, for those who have, you know, children with autism, know like there's a function for the behavior, right? And what was he trying to tell me? So as opposed to me saying like, why did you do this to me? Right? I, you know, would have loved to have showed up and said, you know what, okay, there's a reason for this. Like he's trying to get my attention. He just doesn't want to hawk spit in my face because this is just a behavior that he's just spitting everywhere. Right. It just so happened my face was in the line of fire. And yuck. Yeah. And thank God for glasses. But
funny, not funny.
You know, like, you know, I would have loved to have showed up differently. But again, you just don't know. You don't know when, you know, these behaviors happen, like how you're going to show up. And you just do your best. And, you know, next time, you know, when you know better, you do better. So next time, you know, when the spit hits my face, I'm going to be like, oh, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Let me go figure out what my...
Mommy's going to go take a moment so I don't legit punt you into the other room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people have done that, and I got to give myself credit for not having done what some other mothers would have probably done. Right? 100%. So yay me.
Yes. Yay you. Yes. Okay, so what about, we wanted to talk also about, like, bring up moms and what else we wanted to talk about, moms we admire.
Yeah, moms we admire. And,
so
we're
going to shift gears.
Yeah.
We're going to shift gears. Yep. I think that we did a really good job here at being honest and kind of shining some light on the fact that we all struggle as moms and as caretakers, and that we have to really challenge ourselves out of the judgment and the self-loathing and the self-punishing behaviors and thoughts, you know, and to just challenge ourselves to be a little more realistic and to be good enough mothers. And being a good enough mother is better than being a perfect mom, because perfect doesn't exist.
And I think you need to, you know, I would love, you know, if you had that support, you know, somebody who you could call, like, you know, I can call Hillary and say, listen, let me tell you what happened. Because when I get in my head, you know, I just rationalize things and, you know, but then if I put it out there, you know, Hillary's going to say, hey, you know, you're good enough. Like, remember when you did X, Y, and Z, like you're a rock star.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So reach out and tell your truth to your friends. Yeah. Or tell it to us here on Wednesdays at 6.
It's so freeing.
Absolutely.
I feel good after this conversation. I feel really good.
Good. That's amazing. I feel so much more grounded because you know how I showed up here before.
Yeah. It's like just lighter.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you're feeling that way.
Yeah. So celebrity moms, I have to say, this is just
celebrity moms.
A celebrity mom that I like. Ooh. Really like. And again, we don't know how their life is.
You
and they probably
Rashida.
have
You're
nannies,
a celebrity,
but I'm all in their business. Beyonce. Oh. Beyonce. She had that one song where she talks about, like, you know, you have a baby and then she gets back to business. Like, you know, like she is a mom and business. And she tells her truth.
Yeah.
You know, like,
as far as we know, she does. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah, I could definitely.
Strength.
I can definitely mom crush on Beyonce. I'm trying to think of who celebrity mom. I think that there would be a couple, and this is based solely on Instagram, obviously. I would say Jennifer Gardner.
I got her. Look.
Reese Witherspoon. I'm not looking at your list yet.
Okay.
Jennifer Garner, Reese Witherspoon, J-Lo, and who else? I think dads, too. I have to crush on Neil Patrick Harris a little bit.
Okay.
Because him and his husband, like, they always post these amazing things, like, with their kids and fun things that they're doing. Yeah, I think those would be them. And maybe Kate Hudson, too.
Can you just pick one and just...
No. Okay. Yeah, I'll pick Jennifer Garner then, because she has chickens like I do. And then there's Drew Barrymore, too. And you know what? Drew Barrymore also takes so much ownership of, like, the good enough mother stuff. And the who would I pick? I'm going to go with just Jennifer Garner because she has chickens and... because she has chickens, she's always like cooking and making fun stuff in her kitchen and doing fun things in the garden, and She just like is no makeup, keeps it real. Yeah, I can't pick one.
And I want to add to Jennifer Garner, because I put her down on my list. You know, she's displays humanness. You know, she went through a public divorce.
Oh, yeah.
You know, her ex-husband had addiction issues. And, you know, just thinking about just you know, being in the limelight with all that, and then having to like nurture your kids. And
through that. And she had a little baby. Their son was little when they were divorced.
Yeah. So just juggling. Yeah. And having a career, and then my marriage is full, and having then to learn how to co-parent, because that's not easy.
Right. Yeah.
So I love her. I love Chrissy Teigen as well. You know, working mom, and that
we're getting Sierra and Gabrielle Union.
Love
yes,
it, love
strong
it.
moms,
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
My friend Joanna is telling me that chicken moms don't count here. Who says?
But yeah, like Chrissy Teigen, like she, you know, a working mom, and
big voice.
She talked about her battle with alcoholism. She talked about her battle with postpartum depression.
Right.
And
she also had a pregnancy loss.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, these are real. Even though, you know,
they're women sharing their stories and truth, and to empower Ashley Graham also. To empower other women.
Yeah. You know. So, you know, we can learn some things. And,
absolutely. You know, so the truth and being good enough is better than attempting to be perfect, because we'll never win at that.
And I wrote something I just wanted to share.
Ooh.
So, imperfect mom, know this. You are loved. You matter. You show up every day. You cared for that child in your womb. You were your child's first kiss. You lovingly caressed that child. You reassured your child. Your presence alone is enough.
Ooh.
You are a good mother, even with the myriad of expressions of imperfect nurturing. I'm just going to repeat that last sentence. You are a good mother, even with the myriad expressions of imperfect nurturing.
Imperfect.
Happy Mother's Day, ladies.
I love that you wrote that.
I took pieces from different places, but, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Rashida, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Nominate me for a TED Talks, everybody.
Rachel says, thanks for making me cry. Aw. Jada Pinkett.
Thanks for being vulnerable enough to cry.
Yeah. Yeah, Rachel's like a super mom, too. She's got 3 of her own.
So I know we wanted to go to, like, what mothers really want for Mother's Day.
Peace and quiet.
Sleep all day.
Peace and quiet is cheap. Sleep is cheap. Listen up, people.
Right? My husband asked me, he's like, what do you want for Mother's Day? I'm like, just to sleep all day, and I'll come out and I'll do my, you know, my
crab legs.
I do. Are you listening? Crab legs. 3 pounds, no less than 3 pounds. Like, you can't get really.
Is he listening today?
I don't know. I don't see him on there.
All right.
But can't go less than 3 pounds with that, and you got to get that Old Bay and put the. Oh, last time you didn't even add the butter. Like, how do you not have the butter to dip?
She better have butter.
I have some issues with that.
So sleep is something you would want.
Yeah, because sleep. Just to lay in bed all day, Netflix it out. You know.
That literally sounds so incredible.
Yeah, and I'll make my presence known. I'll come out there, to go to the bathroom. And say hi.
They'll hear a gentle flush of the toilet, and then you'll be like,
"Mom, where you going? Mom, where you going? Mom." That's the only language that they know. Is
so it would be like one day for you to not have to answer to the word "mom."
Yes. That would be so beautiful.
Okay, so sleep. What else?
Well, I mean, food-wise, it'd be crab legs, but that's it. I just wanna be with me. Yeah, because I'm not with me a lot. I'm at work. I'm 100%. Like, I just want to be with me in my presence.
Oh my God, Rashida, literally, that's the first deep breath I took, I think, in 2 days, and you just made me take it, because that sounds so incredible, and it's not in a selfish way.
No.
We both love what we do.
Absolutely.
But Mama needs a break sometimes.
Hey, jobs, like if you go to work, they give you a 30-minute break and stuff. So why can't we take a 30-minute?
24-hour.
You know, like we got to be on call, text. Oh, the school's calling me. Oh, shoot. You know, we got to make this appointment. You know, like it's so. Why can't we do that for ourselves? And why do we feel guilty about it?
Oh, that is another show. Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yep. Okay, so what do you ladies want?
Ooh, look at that on there. I'm seeing some stuff.
A vacation away. With the pool guy, Dexter and The Rock. At first, I didn't realize that the pool guy was a show, and I'm like,
Ooh.
Joanna wants to pee with the door closed.
Do you know how like all moms get that, right? Like that is just a known, like with the door closed. Where or they don't you notice that they have to go to the bathroom when you have to go to the bathroom? Like, you know, like as soon as you hit the, I mean, I'm not privy to like my own bathroom, right?
No, of course not.
Haven't, you know, evolved yet. But like they all of a sudden
it's so true. So true.
Yeah, and my door is, I talked about this on the show, my door is like really jacked up because it's like, you know, it's lifted up where you could put your fingers under there. So they like throw stuff under there. And it's just like, Mom, get that. And I see your feet. It's just, they're stalkers.
They stalkers. Are. Even on the toilet. I have to say, though, that Allison, Joanna, and Rachel are like 3 out of my 4 best friends from like kindergarten.
Awesome.
And the fact that I get to like mother with them is literally one of the greatest gifts of my life. So just sending it out to you, my girls.
Beautiful, ladies.
It's so nice to be able to mother together and kind of commiserate and share our
and laugh about it.
Oh my, we laugh a lot about it. Maybe a little too much, but so let's see. I want to go walking with my whole family, no arguments.
Krista, can we like pop them up? Like big screen. Yeah.
Cheryl says, I want to go walking with the whole family, no arguments. Okay. Allison wants to spend the day with family and no one complains about anything. That would be nice.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I want to, like you, Rashida, I would either like a day to just like be in bed, Netflix and chill, little bit of family time, little bit of family time, but like binge watch. There needs to be some chocolate covered pretzels.
Ooh.
And I would be good to go. I would also love a day at the spa, but clearly that didn't happen. I'm not going to mention the company, but that's it. Like, I'm not really big into like diamonds and all that stuff. It's really about,
I mean, you could add that, like that's a nice add-on.
Yeah.
But I think, when you become a parent or a caretaker, again, a lot of times it becomes about, the child and the child's needs. And we do forget about ourselves.
So what do you think? Maybe all of us moms out there who are listening right now, maybe we can start our day in a certain way. Maybe if we don't get the whole day in bed, or we don't get our family without complaining, or, people asking for anything, or barging in on us peeing. Like, if we don't get that, how could we maybe all start our day in a way, that would be just beneficial to how we show up in the world and how we feel about ourselves? Like, maybe we take like a great shower or a bath and like give ourselves that time to actually put moisturizer on or shave your legs.
Yeah, I like that.
Just something that can we can give that gift to ourselves. It doesn't have to come from anybody else. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. And it may mean getting up a little earlier than your kids to be able to enjoy that shower.
True.
It may be meaning, going to bed a little later because, you want to have that nice bath and, make sure they're all asleep.
Right.
It takes work.
It does. And maybe it's getting up a little earlier and having that quiet cup of coffee.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So you can actually drink it hot and not leave it all around the house.
You're right. I had that one day where I got up really early because I said I want to do some that meditation stuff. And just looking at the sky, like the sun come up and hearing the birds chirping, and just the quiet, no kids screaming and yelling and fighting and all that stuff. Because you know what? I miss quiet.
Absolutely.
When the kids leave the house, that's when I realized, whoa, like this is what it's like to not have kids. Quiet. That's
amazing. Yes.
But like sometimes we have to find quiet in our day. So I challenge you, like a call of action is to, find, even if it's just 5 minutes, right? Even if it's just 5 minutes to find that total quiet.
Love it. Okay. Let's do that challenge. Maybe it's just the challenge to find 5 minutes of peace and quiet.
Just 5 minutes.
However you can find it, whether it's in the shower or on the toilet or watching, the birds through the window, drinking your coffee. Just give yourself those 5 minutes. And then maybe we can all build on those.
And you're not a bad mom for taking time for you.
Absolutely.
If not, you're a good enough mom.
Exactly. Good enough mom. That's the theme. Look it up. Winnicott was the person who founded that thing. This Brene Brown thing is really, maybe we'll just post it.
Okay.
Because it's a lot. We will post it on our Instagram and Facebook. So
this was such a beautiful show, Hillary.
This was nice. Usually, like, we're a little more up and yada yada, but this is real and it's what's occurring for both of us. Clearly, a lot of you lovely ladies out there. And so I think it's time for our bowl of no shame.
Yes.
What do you say?
Yes, bowl of no shame.
It is also, by the way, May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes, absolutely.
So next week we're going to be talking about that, all things mental health. And
it's also Cinco de Mayo, so I don't know how many of you are out there with your margaritas.
I would love to be out there with a margarita right now. My friend Rachel makes literally the best margaritas. Just saying.
You are first.
I am first. Go for it.
Oh, yes.
You want to ask me first?
Yes.
Okay.
Who is your hero?
There's a no, I'm kidding. Interestingly enough, and I know this is super cheesy, I would have to go with my grandma and my mom. And I'll say my grandma because she was, that's her. She was like this really independent, strong woman who was working full time back when women weren't supposed to have jobs. She was like the breadwinner, so to speak. She had my mom when she was 40, and that wasn't, done back in the day. I think it would be her. She always showed me so much love and like unwavering acceptance, which I really needed as a kid looking back. So her, not gonna cry. And then my mom.
But it's okay to cry.
I know. Yeah, no, I just, I feel like I'm all cried out. My mom, it's weird. Like, I want to say my parents because my mom, both of my parents, they've been a really stable force in my life. And I think having the blessing of being able to be an adult with my parents and have them now be able to recognize some of the things that I may bring up to them and challenge, like the way they parented, they've been pretty open to that, which has been really healing for me. So I think that I'd have to say that both of them, they're really, it's heroic. To be able to be like, yeah, I did that and I could see where I could have done different.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And you, my dear?
My dad. Everybody knows he passed away last year. Mm-hmm. And what makes him my hero is that, my dad's Jamaican, and he came to this country absolutely nothing. And he ended up getting a master's in business, MBA. And he always talked about, what he drilled in us was just, working hard, and work hard. And I really checked that box off many times. You think?
Good.
And, he was like almost like my voice of reason. He'd tell it like it is, sure. And I'd get emotional, like, you know, like, you know, but in the reality is, it's like, it's almost, he had said one day, he was like, I said, Dad, can I, borrow some money? I want to like open up a business. And he was just like, where's your business plan? I'm like, oh my fucker.
You're like, it's a lemonade stand, really?
Business plan. Like, he's like, come back to me when you have a business plan, right?
I love that.
But how real is that?
So real.
You know, like that's
amazing.
Yeah. And, he battled addiction. And, you know, I think through his addiction, you know, that's what made me part of the reason why I'm in the field. So sometimes we learn through someone else's pain.
Oh, for sure.
And I think I did. So I thank you, Dad, for blessing me, you know, with your journey.
And she works really, really hard. I know he sees that and he knows that, but she's one of the hardest. I'm looking at him. I'm like, she's one of the hardest working people I know. So. Well done.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, all right.
This is like an emotional show
I'm going to
today.
need a margarita after this. Favorite thing about your career?
Which one? I feel like I
pick a career, any career.
Favorite thing about my career? That helping others. Like, and you know, it's, you know, seeing like their growth, right? Yeah. Like sometimes we're not always there as therapists to see, how, the end result,
sure,
right? Sometimes we're just like kind of like that, we're just that little seed that goes in there that opens a door for other growth. But it's just so nice when, having clients come back and say, hey, you really helped me. Like, you really, or this resonated with me, what you said. And it's just like, just knowing that I was able to give something and someone could take something and that could change their whole world.
Absolutely.
That's gratifying to me and that makes me happy.
I will echo what you say so I don't have to repeat it. And for me, I think it's the connection that I make with every one of my clients, really, any ones that continue to work with me. There's just that connection, the partnership that happens in a healthy therapeutic relationship. It's feeling that and seeing the growth, and especially seeing growth when clients might not be feeling it yet, or right, that. So yeah, same.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Nice.
Amazing.
All right, well, there it is. That was our show today. So happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, and please, share this show with your other mothers, caretakers, fathers, anybody that you think would benefit, from this.
Absolutely.
That needs to hear that it's normal to just not always feel like you showed up. And
absolutely, yes. So. Please, the likes and the shares do matter. They help, and downloading us on SoundCloud and Spotify and
SoundCloud.
And what's the other one? iTunes, Apple Podcasts or something.
Podcasts.
Yeah. So download us there. We are determined to get the message out regarding mental health. It's okay to not be okay, and we're going to just continue to come back pretty much every week to tell you that.
Yes, and just please tune in, tell your friends about us,
Absolutely.
Oh, I see someone said, I'm on my second glass
of wine. Well, enjoy it. Thank you again for joining us. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. And remember, being a mom is beyond the biological too sometimes. So just a shout out to those mamas out there who are mamas, aunts, grandmothers, dads, uncles, everybody, all the people that are out there for the kids.
That are showing up every day. Remember, when you think that you're not doing a good job, remember, you get up for work every day.
And you're good enough. So let's all work to be good enough. Yes, thank you again. If anyone is in need of mental health counseling, please do not hesitate to reach out. Empowerment Center, NJ.org. We are there for you. And that's a wrap. So we will see you next week when we will talk about mental health.
Let's reduce that stigma on mental health, peeps.
Yep. All right, everybody. Sending love. Thanks for listening. Be well. Happy Mother's Day.
Peace.
The Not Okay, It's Okay podcast includes casual conversations related to mental health, self-care, practical tips and resources, along with validation that not being okay is okay. You acknowledge and agree that the following warnings and disclaimers shall apply to all of our content.
This podcast represents the opinions of Hillary Shear, LPC, and Rashida Cartwright, LCADC, and their guests to the show. The information provided is for informational purposes only, and we recommend that you consult with a healthcare professional for medical or mental health advice.
The views and opinions expressed in the Not Okay, It's Okay podcast are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. Do not use our content in lieu of professional advice given by qualified medical or mental health professionals. Always seek the advice of your own medical mental health provider related to your specific medical or mental health condition prior to implementing any recommendations or suggestions from using our content.
Privacy is of great importance to us. That being said, all people, places, and scenarios mentioned in the podcast have been changed to protect patient confidentiality.